This episode of the Towing Life podcast is brought to you by BA Products. From innovative products such as the Container Link, Tanker Tube, Frame Hook, patented 8-point tie-down, and more, BA Products is always developing products to better assist towers today and for tomorrow. Reach out to one of our BA distributors today to see how we can help elevate your towing and recovery procedures. You, sir. I have had more thorough conversations with a tree.
To be honest with you, I have better conversations in my head than I do with you.
I talk to myself all the time. Smartest conversation I have in a day.
Yeah. And honestly, as long as you're not answering yourself, you're normally doing okay.
I've done that once or twice.
Yeah, same. Have you ever had that where they try to tell you what to do and you're like, okay, let's do it your way. And you do it their way and it doesn't work. And you see, oh, can I do it my way now? And they're like, yeah, and it works.
Give me a second.
Do 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 do. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, the Towing Life podcast is experiencing some technical difficulties on PlainGuy's end.
No, I'm not experiencing technical difficulties. I forgot to plug in my wireless earbuds, and if I didn't do it now, I'd forget tonight. Not having tomorrow. I just realized it's the same. I use the cord that I have for my wireless charger at my desk.
You stopped the podcast for your little earbuds.
I did.
Hey everyone, I'm Brad from Calgary.
This is Sean from Cambridge, Ontario.
I'm Terry from Cornwall, Ontario.
Hey, this is Larry from Pitt Meadows, British Columbia, and you're listening to the Towing Life podcast.
Welcome to the Towing Life podcast, where the ditches are deep, the trucks are loaded, but the drivers are not. I'm your host, TowManG, and as usual, I'm joined by my friend, co-host, and former co-worker, the one chain wonder himself, Mr. PlainGuy.
What is going on, G? What is going on?
I think I got a little bit more energy than you, but I think that's about it.
Absolutely. Listening to that intro, there is no way I'm going to be able to match that energy today. Not a chance that is going to happen. But you know what? As I sat here listening, as I do every week, to you doing the wonderful intro, I think back to some of our early episodes and the voice change that you have had, the ability to emphasize words. All that has developed so much over the past 46 episodes that it is absolutely shocking to me, and so happy to see you grow as a radio / podcast / YouTube performer, we'll call you.
It's not so much of the National Geographic voice who lulls you to sleep talking about silly towing things anymore.
You made Morgan Freeman sound less boring.
Morgan Freeman's an exciting guy, okay?
His voice is not. And I'm sure my voice, I can already hear it in my own ears, is not any better this week. So that
kind of nasally.
I'm still getting over this cold. I'm a hypocrite, right? We talk so much about managing burnout and all these things, and having that home family mix and all those good things. And I'm a hypocrite because I get this idea in my head one night and I go, this sounds like a great idea. You guys ever have those moments? I know you've had those moments where it's like, I'm going to do this. This seems like a great idea, whether it's a stupid long late night road trip, whether it's, you get this, you pump yourself up and you go, yeah, I'm going to do this. This is going to be great. And then you get about halfway in, you go, this was the stupidest thing I could have done.
Yeah.
Why do I do this to myself?
Yeah. Like I needed to go pick up a motor for my old pickup truck, and it was up in Sudbury, which is about a 6-hour drive one way. And I left at like dinner time. I was like, it'll be fine. I'll make it back in no time. And I pretty sure I ended up getting back just as the sun was coming up, because once you get up there, you got to talk to the guy and, do your wheel and deal and get it all loaded. And it's just the stupid things. Just seems good in the moment until you actually got to do it.
I realized two things last night. Well, mainly one thing. Construction zones, I swear to God, they get about 3 foot narrower when you've had a long day, because you're going through them no issues at the beginning of a shift, but near the end of those shifts when they drag on a little bit, I swear it feels like you're going to hit the pylons on both sides.
Speaking of that, in my town, they ended up putting up in the residential zones the little folding, like, warning signs
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
road
Like
that you got to go through.
Yeah.
And I had my manager in the truck the one day, and we were driving the flatbed that I never drove before, and I go blowing through them, doing about 40, which is the speed limit. And he looks at me and he's nothing. Go through the second one, doing about 40. He was like, "You don't slow down for these, do you?" I was like, "No, it doesn't say slow down. It's just obstacles in the road, and I know where my truck is."
It's
It's
a
like, well,
placebo effect, right? They do that in these zones to help slow traffic down, because 90% of the driving population cannot tell you where each side of their car is. That's why they're, that's why we're here. That's why we're called a bunch of the times, is because they do not know their vehicle size. And no, I'm the same way. I've gone through some with the bigger flatbeds, and you're sitting there going like, it looks like it's going to be tight, but you clear right through.
yeah.
When you know your vehicle and when you've been driving the same truck for a while, and that, it really comes a long way.
It's like
Before we
I'm pretty good at backing into really tight spaces, but then I'm always more nervous pulling back out. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, because backing in is easier than driving in.
Yeah.
Or driving out. Backing in is easier. You have mirrors.
Yeah.
The wonderful thing of mirrors on a straight truck is you can see everything when you're backing in. It's harder to see when you're driving in. You're more guessing than when you're backing in.
Yeah.
But that being said, before we get too far into it, it is a perfect time to mention, if you have any subjects, questions, comments, or concerns you would like covered on the show, don't hesitate. You can reach out to us. Visit us at the website, www.towinglife.ca. You can email us directly at thetowinglife@gmail.com, or you can visit us on Facebook at the Towing Life Podcast. Website is the best way. You will find all the information there. There's contact us forms. There's ways to become supporters, like our wonderful friends over at BA Products, baprod.com. You will see them in the top bar in the corner. If you're watching over on YouTube, don't forget to drop a comment, hit a like, a share, hit the little bell, I think it is. Click all the buttons you can find on the screen. Every button you can find on YouTube, click it. Click it now, right now. Just start clicking it.
Only click it once, though. Don't.
Oh, yeah, so you click it twice, you turn it off. There's PlainGuy just absolutely sabotaging our YouTube once again. But no, everything that you guys do helps the algorithm, helps everything. Don't forget, look out for our light duty warriors, heavy duty warriors over on the Facebook side. Clips coming out every week of the episode that's out or that is coming out. We've been working away at that, constantly working around at new things. So don't forget to check it all out. Visit us at www.towinglife.ca.
And if you go to the website, there's also a link there to go and look at our merchandise as well. We've got sweaters, and mugs. Yeah.
All kinds of it. Geez, wonderful. I'm sexy and I tow it. And if you haven't heard the I'm sexy and I tow it song, it is on our YouTube channel. It is on our Facebook page.
We got to figure out how to put it on Spotify for all you fine folks.
Yeah, we really sold the farm. Well, it's on Spotify on episode 45. If you go back and check, I believe it was 45.
No.
You will find the song somewhere in the episode. No?
No.
What do you mean no? We played it on the episode.
No, it's not in the episode. I released it separately because of the copyright issues.
Oh, okay. I lied. We will try and get it to you fine folks over on YouTube. It's clearly I know what's going on in this operation. Head on over to the Facebook page. Everyone's got Facebook. That's how you found us in the first place. That's why you keep coming back to us anyways. So head on over, check that out. You will find our wonderful I'm Sexy and I Tow It remix. I can't say original.
No.
Exciting news. So we've gone over that I'm a hypocrite because of managing a burnout. I'm also a procrastinator, for those that don't know.
Yep.
And nobody knows this better than my wife. So I am proud to announce here, for all you wonderful listeners, I have my anniversary present a week ahead of time. I deserve a goddamn award for it. I know. Thank you. Thank you. It means a lot. I actually went shopping It'll be by the time this episode airs, it'll be the next day. 4 years married, 8 years together. Whoever had under 4 years, unfortunately, you lost the pool. You can pay up your money. And those who have under 5 years, there's still a chance.
Well, congratulations, buddy.
There's no doubt it's hard being a tow wife, and it is even harder to be my tow wife.
I still remember when you got married. Well, actually, I don't, because I had to work to cover you.
Well, somebody's got to do it while everybody left town to come to my wedding. You're the new guy. Short straws lose, chum. Short straws lose every time.
Yeah, I guess.
So
I'm just glad you had faith in me holding down the fort for a whole weekend.
I just didn't care that much. I had things going on, and you were either going to sink or swim. We will get to a little bit of how much of a dick is TowManG later on. We do have a how much of a dick is TowManG courtesy of one of our wonderful listeners. Personal stories. So, gee, I can't wait to wait. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, perfect. So we will get into that a little bit. Last week we did cover a lot of American news. God bless the USA, Colorado, and all their wonderful shenanigans that they have going on.
Shenanigans. Yeah.
We're going to call it shenanigans to be safe and to not hurt anybody's feelings. So this week I do want to get into some Canadian news coming out. Good or bad, I'm all for change and I'm all for positivity. I'll let you guys make your own opinions on it as I move screens around here and try and figure out where we are back on the show. There we are.
Good stall. Good stall.
I know, right? It's multitasking at its finest. So Alberta announces, for those of you that don't know, Alberta is a province in Canada. It is somewhere to the left middle. It tends to be our more, we're going to call it our hillbilly province of the country. You got BC, you got BC's our California. Yeah. A little bit more progressive out there. Alberta's kind of like our middle south.
Yeah.
Alberta's announced a 1-year pilot project on Friday that'll give tow truck operators the option of using blue lights to increase their visibility and safety. The pilot project starts June 30th. Quoted in the article that we will have posted in the description, as always, every Albertan deserves to be safe at work, even if their office is on the side of the road, says Michael Chimko, president and CEO of the AMA. She said the change is simple, but will make life-saving difference.
See, as long as there is a change, I'm all for it. I think for us, ourselves, I know in Ontario, our snowplows run amber and blue lights, right?
Yes.
So in the wintertime, it might get a little dicey because you're working on the side of the road and someone coming up in the nighttime might not be able to distinguish between a snowplow and your tow truck immediately, right? Now,
yeah, and
if
they're trying
people
to buy the snowplow and everything else, and
like if people should be slowing down regardless if they're seeing flashing lights on the side of the road, but we know they don't.
Yeah,
right. So,
I'm wondering, does Alberta have blue flashing lights on their snowplows?
Probably. I would like to figure that out. But
nope. I'm looking up on alberta.ca right now. Snowplows are equipped with flashing amber and red lights to make them more visible. Remember, flashing amber and red means snowplow ahead. That's a good little saying. Yeah. Maintain a safe following distance behind their snowplow. So from alberta.ca, they do not run blue in Alberta on their snowplows. That must be an Ontario thing.
Yeah.
So the introduction of blue lights will actually help distinguish them from snowplows. The opposite of what we thought it might actually do.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing is everyone and their brother can run amber lights. When I was plowing, I had an amber light on the top of my truck for circling parking lots. Right. Yep. Now, a lot of guys don't turn those lights off, and some people run
for the goddamn ignition.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
And you can't even say it's wired up to the PTO because you don't have your PTO going on down the road, towing a car on your flatbed. And when you see another guy flash his beacon lights at you, don't wave. Just, and look, turn them off. Because if I see you out on the road and I flash my beacons at you, that's what it is.
Yeah. I was a long way from home last night and on a highway, the 115 highway, you would know that highway. Yeah. And I'm coming back and I see flashing lights coming up the highway.
Yeah.
You know the area, and we're close enough to the GTA that they are wired to the ignition. And I see this truck lit up like everything else. Tow light on, I can tell if those chains. Front wheel drive car on the back of a wrecker.
Yeah.
Going up a highway this was around 3 o'clock in the morning. Not a soul to be found.
Huh.
And every light flashing going on down the highway.
Hmm.
We've talked about it, the desensitization of amber lights.
Mm-hmm.
You, sir, are, if that was you northbound on the 115 and you do listen, sorry, but turn them off. You have tow lights. If you know what I mean, I know that we've heard of bylaws in different regions and anything like that. They're light duty towing guys. If you're running your beacon lights, just stop it. Stop it.
I see a lot of flatbeds towing doubles. Run them regardless. And I'm sure someone has told them if you've got wheels on the ground, you need to run your beacon lights. Why people are being told that, I have no idea. And I've even stopped and I've asked a couple of bed drivers myself because I knew the one guy. I was like, hey, why are you running your beacon lights? He was like, oh, I think I have to because I've got a car hanging off the back of my Stinger. I'm over length. It's like, no, You're not over length. How do you think semi trucks go down the road?
Yeah, well, he shouldn't be depending on what he was going. But yeah, I don't know where he's getting misinformation, right? We've talked about it a million times.
No.
Misinformation. I don't see anything. Quickly. This is where we're missing our wonderful producer Sarah. It's a great time to mention wonderful Sarah on our show. Our wonderful producer Sarah is not here this week after we hyped it up last week that she will be here for the new the segments of How Much of a Dick is TowManG, where we're gonna work on some new little ideas, and then she tells us she's off visiting family back home. We hope she's having a great time. Welcome back to God's country. And hope you enjoy your visit, and she should be back next week in time for all kinds of fun and shenanigans that she'll have planned for us.
We did a training course with our local police department probably a year ago now, where we went over to the police department. We showed them the legal way to hook up cars on different trucks and everything, and your double wrap on your Vulcan.
Showed them. I love.
Yeah, we showed them literally, and they actually brought up a really good question. He was like, why do some tow trucks drive down the road with their lights on? Is that required? And we're like, no, it's not. If you see us do it, there's a good reason why they're on. It's because we're doing something sketchy that we shouldn't be doing in the first place. So please look the other way.
Yeah, that's fair. If you see us doing it, it's towing is, as much as we sit here and attempt to increase professionalism in the industry. Well, I mean, as much as we can when we start making songs like I'm Sexy and I Tow It, but we definitely want to increase the public view of the towing industry as professionals in the industry. And if you're serious about it, I think that's a lot of people's goals. Mm-hmm. The reality is there. And the reality is we do some sketchy stuff sometimes, right? The trucking industry has a very strict regulations on what to follow, what to do. The towing industry tends to fall into a couple little more gray areas, and we tend to walk that line more often than we probably should.
Yeah, like I had to pick up one of the cable vans. It was a big F550 with one of the big boxes on it. The driver of it lost the keys.
Did you stop incriminating yourself on the podcast? You were incriminating yourself on illegal things that you were doing.
No, it wasn't illegal. I'm just saying it was a little sketchy. So anyways, there was no keys and the steering wheel was locked slightly to the left, right? So I frame forked it from the rear because I had no keys, locked in park. It was on an embankment. It's always a little sketchy pulling drive shafts when they're locked in park, just because of the extra force there on the drive shaft.
Well, if you got to play and make sure you don't have pressure on the parking pin and that you have, but you got to play around with it. But it's definitely very doable.
Oh, it is doable, but it's a lot easier to frame fork from the rear bumper, right?
Of course.
So I did that, and I picked it up
every day,
and I ran the seatbelt through the steering wheel. Sorry, sue me, whatever. Seatbelt through the steering wheel. The steering wheel was locked anyways, and I pulled out onto the road, and I was still within my width of the lane because the front end of the truck was kind of dogtailing a little bit.
Dog tracking off to the side. Yeah, we've all been there.
And it was a 25-kilometer tow. I've got two settings on my beacons to where I can have 2 front-facing lights and 2 rear-facing lights or a full bar. I just ran with the 2 lights on.
Front-facing or rear-facing?
Both.
Why? Why are you warning the people that you're coming head on with? Are you staying in your lane?
Yeah.
Then why are you warning the people behind you?
Well, I don't have the option to front and back. It's just the front two and the back
Okay, so
two.
who
on
are you
one
warning? Let me ask this then. Who are you warning? Oh,
button.
wait.
I don't know.
That's
I
what I
left
mean.
I left the one rotary light on the Bell van too.
But that's what I mean. Like, what are, you know what I mean? Like, we see that a lot, and it's like, yeah, I know. What are you warning? Are you staying within your lane going on the road? Yes. So you're not warning oncoming traffic that I might be a wide load or something,
Yeah.
which you probably should have banners and whatnot. But you know,
Yeah.
let's be real here.
Yeah.
But who are you warning? The people behind you? You think the people behind you can't tell that thing looks a little sideways?
And they can't see it anyways because it's too large.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
the whole point of the beacons becomes irrelevant. All that's happening is people are seeing beacons and going, oh, look, those beacons are driving down the road. So next time I see those beacons, I don't have to look out because they're probably just going with the flow of traffic. You, sir, are the problem.
Well, I wasn't actually going with the flow of traffic. I was doing about 10 under. Just
Well, be the solution, not the problem, G. Come on. Have I taught you nothing?
No.
You cannot feed me this kind of ammunition. But no,
Well,
I
gotta
don't
talk
know
about
what
something, you know.
I don't know what the changes or blue lights are going to do for Albertans. You know what? If you know that old saying, if it saves one life and it doesn't cost another, I'm fine with it. You know, anything to help bring more awareness to differentiate them.
Mhm.
If their snowplows aren't running it and blue is a color out there that isn't used, like while we look into it, like is blue used on other vehicles, right? That's the, you know, who are they being classified with? So if it can help, you know, save a life. I know they have Alberta, I feel like, had a bad streak of tow truck drivers we were hearing for a little while. So if this can help it and improve it in any way, I'm all for it. I'd be curious, being in a province like Ontario, seeing the results of this study and seeing if it's something that, you know what I mean, they want to look at incorporating. It's a 1-year pilot project, like we talked about with all these other pilot projects. It's a test. They're going to see how it goes. They're going to pull us to statistics at the end of the year and see if, you know.
I think it's not
50%.
even so much the lights. I think since they're changing the lights on the tow trucks, they're going to push it to the public. Like the government's going to push to the public saying the tow trucks now have these blue lights to be able to watch out for them. And that will make people think about a tow truck, right? And they'll think about it and they'll remember, hey, that law just got changed. They might be looking out for that law. And that's something that we don't always have. For us, what people hear about tow trucks is the turf war that went on in the city last year. And
which must have died because I have not seen a news article about that turf war in a while.
No, that's pretty much all wrapped up. Actually, I just heard the one judge threw out like 6 cases to protect an informant.
Well, there's been more important things going on in the world.
So that's the news of revolving around our industry for us. Right. So it's not great news for us, and it's not public awareness. Like, hey, we've got a dangerous job. It's just different towers killing other towers. And so this good publicity for the industry out in Alberta. Hopefully it will actually stick with people and get people to move over regardless if you're running the amber and blue lights.
You know what? It's true. It's, you know, you look at it, you know, just quick search CTV News, CBC, Global News, Reader Advocate. It's every Calgary Herald. It's in the news. It's everywhere. You're right. It's bringing awareness to the towing industry and safety changes, and as a whole, just, you know, I never really thought about it that way. So that absolutely is a great point.
Yeah. Like I've always been a firm believer in the lights don't matter. It's just people need to realize, hey, you see something pulled over on the side of the road, maybe we should slow down a little bit, hop into the next lane. Yes, we are protected by a law, and I use air quotes by protected. But they got to realize that it's a tow truck. I see a lot of the heavy guys, especially with their big trucks on the side of the road, hooking up a tractor trailer. Well, you can't see any lights coming up from behind you.
No, you really can't.
Right? So you've got your little road flares out or the traffic triangles. Well, someone coming up is just thinking it's a disabled semi until they get up to the tractor part and they're like, oh, there's a tow truck there.
Well, absolutely. And I've always been a big believer in any sort of traffic control units, you know, that we run them. It's extra awareness, and they are effective. I can tell you firsthand that a pickup truck with flashing lights and an arrow on behind is very effective. And the arrow itself in comparison to just orange flashing lights has a major impact.
Yeah.
And I don't have the stats to back it up. What I have is 10 years experience on the road and cars not moving over.
Yeah.
And firsthand experience of seeing it, it definitely is effective. So no, it should be moving over anyways. Even if it is a disabled transport pulled over on the shoulder, right? That was today. I was heading down the 401 today, and we're through some rock cut sections, which, you know, don't have much shoulder in that. And there's a car pulled over on the side of the road. And so, you know, guy in front of me, or all of us, we all pull over to the left lane. There's no one's passing anybody. It's all single file in the slow lane, which is surprising because normally it's single file in the fast lane. Yeah. And I just watched this one car behind me, and we all move over, and he's got everywhere to go, and he just moves over and hugs the center line. Yeah. And it's like, at that point, what is the extra 6 feet over going to hurt you? You're watching everybody around you do it. Your whole concept.
You don't even need to flick your turn signal on.
Yeah, exactly. Just go over the line. Yeah. But the whole monkey see, monkey do, it was true, except for this one idiot. Yep. And you just watch it, and it's like, I still am having a hard time wrapping my head around, and it's because I'm actively involved in the industry, right? We have insight that others don't have, but I just go, well, at that point, why not? Your tires are running the center line. Why not just change lanes?
Yeah.
Like, what possible reason do you have to go, nah, I ain't getting all the way? Like, what's going through your head?
It's the same reason of why I don't slow down through those traffic barriers, right?
Oh, this should be good.
No, honestly, it's when you're driving your car and you're like, oh, I know where my car is. I'm in control. I'm good. He's got enough room. And it's that cockiness, right? It's that complacency of, oh yeah, there's more than enough room there, right? I've done it. I hate to admit it, but I'm sure we've all done it, regardless if you saw him or not, and you flew by and you're like, oh fuck, I should have got over. Right?
Yeah, I think we've all been guilty of, at least there's a moment where we wish we would have moved over, and we haven't. I think it's getting less and less, but yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and it's the same way of, I know where my vehicle is. He probably knew where his vehicle was, and in his judgment, that was enough space, right, to pass.
When you're the guy standing on the side of the highway,
it's never enough space.
It's never a trip over something, a fumble, and you know, it's see you, goodbye, have a great day.
That's the thing. In the industry, we are really good at yelling and screaming and getting all the information out within our own industry. We just have a very hard time of getting it outside. So there's blue lights.
Yep.
There's blue lights in the news everywhere saying slowing down and moving over for tow trucks is the law, or at least I hope it is out there in Alberta.
It is.
And that they have these new lights. It's going to do good because it's getting out to other people who aren't listening to our podcast right now and who aren't in the industry and already actively know to slow down and move over.
Absolutely. If they're listening to our podcast, they probably should. They learn a lot about the towing industry and why it's one of the best industries in the world.
And worst at the same time.
Absolutely. And one of the things that makes it worse is this next segment on our show, which we are going to get to, called How Much of a Dick? How much of it is TowManG?
Please don't click off.
Come on. They're here. This is all they come for. We got to stop putting this out so early in the episode. Before we do get to How Much of a Dick is TowManG, I know you're all patiently waiting on the edge of your seat. Just do it already. Just do it already. I have said it before, and I will say it again. If you don't have a piece of BA equipment on your truck, get out of here. You have no idea what you're missing out. I will not promote a product that I would not use myself, and BA products is definitely one of them. From innovative products such as the container link, tanker tube, frame hook, patented 8-point tie down, and more. And there is a new product coming soon. If you check out their page, they have a product reveal coming up. I'm excited to see what it is. I think I have an idea, but I have not seen it firsthand yet. But BA Products is always developing products to better assist towers today and for tomorrow. So reach out to one of their BA distributors today and see how they can help elevate your towing and recovery procedures. Support those that support your favorite podcast and visit them at baprod.com. That's BAPROD.com today for more information. We thank BA for sponsoring this wonderful podcast.
Absolutely.
How much of a dick is TowManG?
I don't know. We'll find out.
We're going to grade this on a scale of 1 to 5.
Yeah.
10 being the worst. This is why we need Sarah. Sarah, help. We can't count.
Sarah.
So I have very few notes on this, so it's really going to be off of pure memory of this conversation.
Oh,
so last week, we told you to take off your operator hat and put on your manager hat.
Yep.
This week, we are going to take off your operator hat once again.
Okay.
And you were going, so take off your operator hat.
Yep.
And look at that flow, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That man has not been in the towing industry long enough. There is way too much flow on the top of his head. If I did the same thing, I would have to turn my lighting down because my camera would reflect.
This is just for the show. I hope you know. I do my hair before the show. Just
he has a stylist that comes in, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about being Facebook or YouTube viral. He has already hired the stylist, the makeup artist. You should see how long it takes for this man to prep for the show.
You think I'm ugly here? Oh boy, you haven't seen nothing.
I think you've lost weight. I'm looking at you next on that screen and on you, and you look like it might just be all the hair, though.
I think
it really might be all the hair.
It's probably the hair.
Okay, so you're going to put your customer hat on today.
Oh, customer. Oh, okay.
Ooh. So you are going to be the. Do you want it in neutral customer? Well, not really. He's got the hat on backwards and sideways. Jesus Christ. He looks like the customers that we change their tires because they have this cool little drift car that they bought, but they don't know how to change their own tires.
I was hucking a couple of shitties in the parking lot, bud, and I overshot the one and I hit the curb. I need you to tow my ship box, but don't scratch it. Don't cause any more damage to it. It's an $800 POS, but it's my POS. How's my impression?
That's pretty spot on to a lot of my customers, unfortunately. No, so this question was sent in, or scenario was sent in by David. He's been a long time listener of the show. He is a former tow operator. So these situations are tough. His wife broke down. I don't know if they called a roadside assistance or if it was a private. I believe it was through roadside assistance. She broke down. He wasn't there. There was something to do with the back brakes dragging on their Dodge Caravan. So the tow operator, and we don't have all the details. This is third party. This is third party from him while he is on his way to the scene. So the driver has picked up the vehicle by the front wheels with a wrecker, no dollies. So he's deeming, even though it's a back brake issue, he's deeming that it's good. And left his wife and 2-year-old son on the side of the road, not at a parking lot, not in out on a county road, to wait for their ride to go while he took off with their car. Obviously, because he's in a hurry, whether he has other calls to do, whether he has, whatever his excuses. I can't speak for him. I can't say if it was justified or not. My question is, that is your wife, your child. I know you have neither, but your wife, your child, your mother, your sister, and your niece, nephew, however you want to word it, left on the side of the road. You have the towing experience that you have. What are you doing? What are you doing with being everything that you've gone through? How much of a dick are you going to be?
Do I get to meet the tow op?
He's gone. He's already towed the car.
Do I get to meet him, though, at the drop-off point?
I mean, if you want to chase him down there and get there before he does, like if he's waiting for you, I don't know.
Well,
I would assume not. I would assume he is not waiting for you. If he left your wife and daughter, I don't think he's waiting for you to get to the other end.
Well, I find that wrong for a couple different reasons. The car aside, we'll touch on the car after. Leaving two people on the side of the road, especially being a mother-daughter combo, that's wrong. It's morally wrong, especially if it's my wife and daughter. That's really wrong.
It is summertime, so winter weather was in effect. But
yeah, but it's still, you're leaving two, using air quotes, vulnerable people on the side of the road. Because at that point, what happens if someone stops and says, "Oh, I can give you a ride," and is a little persistent, right? So I'm going to be calling his company of whoever, whether it be the roadside or the company itself.
I think it was through a roadside, but it was like most companies where it's not it's a company.
So if I've got the company name, I'm going to call the company first and give them a piece of my mind. And then preceding that phone call, I'm going to call the roadside and give them a piece of my mind.
Now, what if, hold on, let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
What if And I don't know. Again, this was the phone call was happening on his way to the call. What if the wife said, "Yeah, I know my husband's on his way. I'll be fine."
Then that's fine. I've had that issue, or not so much an issue, but I've had that quite a few times actually. And at that point, I personally, if I put my tower hat back on, I'm always, "Are you sure?" I always ask them that like 3 or 4 times.
Multiple
"You okay
times.
with staying here?" I normally offer them a bottle of water because I always have water with me. And I say, "If you need anything, here's my cell phone number. Here's a business card. Give me a call back. Worst case scenario, I can, on my way back with the car, I can pick you up and take you into town." Right? If something else arises. I'm hoping me and my wife in this scenario would have discussed that. And the wife would have said, "Yeah, I'm just going to wait here on the side of the road for you. Please hurry up." And he's going to take off with my car.
See, my wife wouldn't do that. My wife would be like, I'd call her up and be like, "Okay, so is he hooking up the car?" "Yeah, he's gone." "Okay, what do you mean he's gone? Where are you?" "I'm on the side of the road. He told me you had to take the car, and so I'm just waiting for you." Like that is legit how that conversation would go. Where like the tow operator could convince my wife that it was a good idea, and she'd be like, "Okay, he said so." So I don't know if that was the scenario here. I really don't know. David's gonna have to comment on the video or on the Facebook or send me a message, give me a call. I'd like to know more on it, but yeah, okay. So where are you going? Okay, so you've called the company and you've given them a piece of your mind. Are you waiting? You're getting the whole story first, I'm hoping.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Right. I need the information.
The scenario is the tow truck driver just said, "Yeah, I know your husband's coming. Okay, cool. I got to take this car. You guys can wait here. Bye."
Yeah. See, for myself personally, if I'm in a situation like that, what I normally do is I get them out of the vehicle.
Listen, you're not a tow truck driver. I want to hear how much of a dick you are. What are you doing next? Stop getting off topic.
Okay. So once I've picked up my wife at this point and make sure that she's okay, safe in a vehicle, I am then going to drive to the tow destination because he didn't dolly this, because I don't know if the back brakes seized up or they're only sticking when you're actually using your brakes. There's two different brake issues, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go there and make sure that he didn't just screw up my rotors and not just the pads.
Yeah, you're going there to make sure that your back brake isn't ready to catch fire.
Make sure that I've still got a vehicle at the other end, because I've known guys who've done that and set the car on fire. Anyways, making sure that
I may or may not have towed a car with a parking brake on one time, that the car had a blown motor and was probably going to scrap. Did I say anything at the time? Absolutely not. But when I got to that tow destination, that hub was smoking.
Yeah, I think we all have, whether that's just neglect or in a hurry, whatever the case may be. I think we all have. Hopefully it just wasn't far.
All right, so you meet him at the tow destination. You make sure that your car is not on fire.
Yeah, and if it's all good, perfect. If it's bad, then I'm calling the roadside back and I'm issuing a damage complaint, because anyone else would do it.
Are you that guy? You're not going to go through the company first rather than going through the roadside?
Well, I've already called the company.
Yeah, but you don't know about the damage claim. You're calling the company, giving them peace of mind about what? The way they've towed your vehicle, or the fact they left your wife on the side of the road?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, you get there and you go, "Yeah, my hub's on smoking hot." You've probably...
But we've got so many different things. Like, I don't know we don't know who the company is. Did the wife catch the name of the tow truck? So if I know the company and I have their phone number, I'm calling the company first. And if that conversation doesn't go well, then I call them, right? If they're not willing to work with me, call the roadside.
You call them up and say, "Hey, your tow driver didn't use dollies. My hub is hot. I'm, looking at a warped rotor," and they just say, "Go kick rocks." I'm going, "Excuse me, roadside assistance. Yeah, your provider?" Because we know that they have to be they are the mediator between it, right? They will make you settle those issues, and they want to know what the solution is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so driver's getting a piece of your mind, company's getting a piece of your mind, roadside is getting a piece of your mind if there is in fact damage. If there's no damage, you bothering with the roadside. If there's no damage and your wife, nobody,
as long as my wife was okay. And I mean, like, I don't know if she told the guy that it'd be okay, or if just in the situation that she agreed to.
I'm saying in this situation, in this hypothetical, he just said, "Yeah, no, you can wait here. If your husband's already on his way, I have a call to go do. Bye."
That's a dick move. You should give him a 10 out of 5 for being a dick, not me.
How much of a dick is the driver that towed David? Will be the next episode. We give him a 10, but this show is called How Much of a Dick is TowManG? What do you think? I think you're being soft. I think with your experience,
what would you do?
I would do like you said, but I would go to the tow destination, and it would be more to rip the guy for leaving my wife on the side of the road. Not even my wife. My wife has a wicked right and a decent left. I'm not worried about leaving her on the side of the road, but left the child with her.
Yeah.
Come on.
But we still don't know if the tow truck guy was there or not. How far away were we? Are we going to meet him?
I know. Well, he was far enough away. I had enough time to call me and have a conversation about it on his way there. You know, you're having a word with the driver, because the one thing that I hope we all realize that when you're dealing with customers and all that is treat every customer like it how you'd want your mother, your grandmother, your wife treated. Would you want, you know what I mean? We've all had bad days and we're crusty, and all that. That happens. Imagine this attitude, and you take that onto a driver, or you know what I mean? Imagine just leaving these people on the side of the road. Now turn around and think if that was your mother. The tow truck driver said, yeah, just wait on the side of the road. Your husband's coming to get you, or your son's coming to get you. Sure. Don't worry about it. You're fine here. How would you deal with that?
Yeah, that would be pretty shitty.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that left to my dad. And it's not just my mother. It's not just the women in my family. It's also like the men. It's a respect thing.
Yeah.
So take that into account. So yeah, that's probably my first thing is that, hey, you want to tow. I get you guys are busy. I get you guys can't wait for rides. I get, you know what I mean? There's all these things, but your job, your number one priority is to take care of that customer. That customer at the end of the day, whether it be through roadside or not, is paying your bills. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Take care of them. Make sure arrangements are made. Make sure all of that. By the sounds of it, I'm going in this scenario. He just said, I got to go. I can't wait any longer. I don't know how long he was waiting. How long ahead of his ETA was he? How long did she have to arrange the ride? You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff, but I'm probably tearing that guy a new one. As for the not dolly in it, if I call in and tell you his rear brake issue, I don't care what you deem it on the side of the road. That being said, I'm the first guy to criticize one of my customers when they think they know what the problem is and they don't. Yeah. That's just the experience coming in it. I'm less worried about the vehicle. I'm more worried about the personal well-being of my family. And I think for that alone, that driver would get a more than just a, hey buddy, what's going on? It's what the hell do you think you were doing? Yeah. We're constantly, again, we're pushing for better for the industry. You cannot be doing things like that. So in this case, I'm only giving you a 2 because I think you were soft.
Well, shouldn't that be a 0 then if I was a soft? Because I wouldn't take it all.
We'll give you a 1.
Okay.
Give you a 1 because it wasn't a 0. And your hypothetical wife and child are now angry that you didn't have the cojones to stand up when that tow truck driver disrespected them and left them on the side of the road. She is filing for an imaginary divorce as we speak.
So this is a good hypothetical situation, right? Like, what do you do if something like this happens to you? Well, I normally, personally, I say, okay, that's normally one of the first things out of my mouth when I get there. How's it going? What's wrong with the vehicle? Do you have a ride coming? In a situation like that, just so I know if I need to make some space in my tow truck or if they are having a ride coming up. You can load the car and wait with them. What I normally do in that situation, I load the car, set it back down so you can wait in your vehicle, and I wait there as long as we're not busy.
If you're in a wrecker, yes. If you're in a wrecker, absolutely.
Yeah. If you're in a bed,
I just let them sit in it while I hook it up.
Hmm?
I just let them sit in it while I hook it up.
Yeah.
Like on a wrecker. And I go, this is the fun part, ready? And you see the kids, especially if there's kids that are laughing at them.
So you can do that. That's all fine. That's all dandy. Put your tow light on, make sure it's safe. In a flatbed, you're kind of limited on that. Or just say, once your ride gets here, give me a call back. Regardless if that's through a roadside and you give them your personal number and you're going to go do another local call and you come back, you can call in and say, hey, call into your roadside, get it deemed as an unattended tow. Just leave your keys here and we'll take care of it.
Leave the keys, lock the keys in the car. Customer's biggest concern. I don't want to leave the keys. What if somebody steals it? First of all, it's broken down. A lot of times it won't start. So what is the issue? Lock the keys in the car. I have tools for that.
Yeah.
Take the keys, throw them under the driver's side floor mat, lock the doors. I'll unlock it when I get here. Your vehicle is secure. Sorry. Sidebar. Distracted. Squirrel.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very good thing. You got to think about these people as they don't deal with this every day. right? They're going to do things that make you scratch your head. And that's because they're in a situation they've never been in before. And you showing up there, you're the professional, or at least I hope, and they are at some capacity going to look at you for guidance, right? Especially if they're not as super confident with automotives or just don't have too much
They
street
don't know much
smarts,
about cars. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They're going to look at you for advice, for your recommendation, and what to do in this situation, right? So the best part is to worry about the customer first and then the vehicle, right? Make sure
towing the vehicle is easy. Dealing with the customer, not so much.
Yeah, that's a big part of our industry is customer service. And that's, to be honest with you, something that we've always lacked in a little bit, I feel. And it moving forward, that's something that we really need to push, I think, more is how to deal with customers, how to make sure they're going to be happy before we worry about the car. The car can be replaced, they can't. And if they have a bad memory, they're going to tell people that car is not.
Well, no, and absolutely. It's, you want to be respected as a professional, to be a professional, right? Imagine walking into Canadian Tire and they're like, yeah, what do you want? Like, no, you approach, hey, how's it going today? What can I do for you? Like we're having some issues. All those things go a long way. You want to be treated like a professional, act like a goddamn professional.
Yeah.
It's true. It goes an amazingly long way.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, we're starting to run a little bit long on time. I know you did have something else planned. We are going to push it for till next week. It has been too long.
Your eyes have been closed for the last 6 minutes anyways.
Have you been catching on to that? I wasn't sure if you could see through the reflection. I've just been sitting here listening to you having a conversation.
Well, you've actually let me talk a lot more this episode. So
I was taking a nap. I figured I'd let you have a segment. It was a good time to get a 5-minute nap in. Your voice does wonders. I was off dreaming in Wonderland throughout most of this. So,
that's why on Spotify our viewers or listeners listen right to the end because we put them to sleep halfway through.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't have time to hit the pause or the X. So, yeah, no, it's we do have some things. We are going to get into some different tow truck things moving on to next week. We will remember to carry them over this time. We say that every week. We never do. But
I'm going to create a new note right now and do it.
There you go. So Blue Light's coming to Alberta. The importance of customer service in the towing industry, guys. It is not rocket science. Treat your customers right. Your customers will in turn treat you right and call you again. So, on behalf of myself and my wonderful co-host, TowManG, this has been the Tow and Life Podcast. Thank you very much for coming out. We can't wait to see you next week. Thank you, BA Products. See you next time.
Toodles.
Are you not entertained?